thoughts, views, and comments expressed by the hosts, guests, and callers on Beyond the Headlines are not necessarily those of management, ownership, or production unit of the Verizon Media Group. Beyond the Headlines is a production of ILTV Studios and cannot be reproduced or represented in part or entirety without express written permission of the Verizon Media Group. Beyond the Headlines is the intellectual property of the Verizon Media Group. Copyright 2021.
Coming up tonight, the Police Staff Association without medical insurance? Well, it seems someone got their wires crossed as National Security Minister Wayne Munro says there's been no lapse in insurance with Kalina. We get to the bottom of it. Meanwhile, days after Prime Minister Davis announced that a deal is close for the sale of the Grand Lucaya Resort and possibly the Grand Bahama Airport, information leaked today identifying the buyer. The information has some Grand Bahamians optimistic for the first time in a while. Also, the Coalition of Independence leader Lincoln Bain joins me. He's talking Vision 2030 and also the Trump administration's plans to explore establishing a sovereign wealth fund in the United States. And later tonight, the Ministry of Tourism's bridal show was a success with guests coming from as far away as Italy. Hear how a group from Italy plan on making wedding dreams for Italians come true right here in the Bahamas while helping Bahamians with destination weddings in Italy. It's all straight ahead for you this evening. Good evening. I'm Shanique Miller. It's great to have you along this evening. Well, a bombshell claim from the Police Staff Association alleging that the government owes insurer Kalina over $100 million and that police officers are without medical insurance. The statement dated yesterday's date has been circulating on social media throughout the day, raising concerns about the security of insurance coverage for police officers. We get the story from Laurencia Smith and then come back and discuss.
In a statement that's quickly gaining traction online, the Police Staff Association says government has failed to pay Kalina over $100 million in outstanding insurance obligations. According to the association, this debt has led to alleged threats from the insurance company to cancel policies, a move that could put thousands of officers at risk. The statement read in part, the unpaid obligation raised urgent and critical questions about the safety and security of those officers who serve on the front line to protect the Commonwealth of the Bahamas. Eyewitness News reached out to the Minister of National Security, Wayne Munro, who responded on Tuesday afternoon. Munro said both the Minister of Economic Affairs, Senator Michael Alcides, and Deputy Commissioner of Police, Kirkwood Andrews, confirmed that no officers have been denied service despite the allegations.
I would say they should know about how to present a case in court if they're diligent officers. When you say somebody stole money from a store, you produce the evidence. So I would invite you to ask them to produce the evidence of this debt.
This issue of insurance coverage has been a long-standing sore spot for members of the Royal Bahamas Police Force. Just last year, the association blasted government, calling its handling of insurance for law enforcement as blatant disrespect. The controversy stemmed from the government's decision to stop offering insurance coverage for the dependents of new recruits, a move that the association claims could impact the future of every law enforcement agency in the country. At the time, government officials defended the decision, stating that much of the public purse was taking a hit, with over $80 million spent annually on private insurance for much of the coverage of individuals who are not government employees.
Where they get health coverage that a lot of people in the private sectors do not get, and very few people in the public sector get health insurance. And policemen get health insurance themselves. The persons who no longer are covered by the policies are the dependents of newly recruited police officers. So the recruit, when he has to determine, do I want to be recruited as a policeman, has to determine whether or not the fact that his dependents will not be covered is something that should cause him not to join the police force but take some other job. which means the other job has to be a job, no doubt, that's offering not only medical coverage to him, but to his dependent. Thus far, as the previous commissioner said, this commissioner has said it's not affecting recruitment.
Now, Eyewitness News made several attempts to speak with the Police Staff Association executives, but was unsuccessful. Upwards to News Time. Laurencia Smith, Eyewitness News.
Well, we certainly, of course, hope to get more information from the Police Staff Association. But as you heard, well, the good news is the officers are covered, that it has not lapsed. But the question truly is exactly when is it paid? Is it owing? What's going on? What's happening? Why would someone just put this information out there and there be no truth to it? And so we'll discuss that. We'll discuss it because it was very irresponsible. In fact, I think many of us got nervous because certainly we know police officers, the nature of their jobs require them being comfortable at least with some sort of coverage. And to hear that they were standing on the sidelines in the cold, that certainly raised eyebrows. Welcome to Beyond the Headlines, our contributors, Michael Turnquest and Peggy Scott. Good evening to both of you. It's good to have you both here. Certainly the circular that went around that we saw from the Police Staff Association got people talking, yes, and again raised concerns.
Good evening, Shanique. Thank you so much for having me. Good evening, Bahamas. Yes, Shanique, when I receive it, because I know this is not the first time that police have more concern and made public knowledge of their concern for their insurance coverage. But this is the first time I saw a figure put to what was owing. And when you listen to the minister's words, I don't recall him denying that they have a bill for pending to be paid. But he said the important thing, that the insurance is has not lapsed and no one has been denied services because of the lack of insurance. But the question is there an outstanding amount, and is that our business?
Shanique, this is nothing new. This is not the only person the government or this administration owes. I mean, this administration has borrowed, and has, I would say, accounts payable, whether it be the airports that they're building or the whatever construction in terms of contractors that they have that are owing pending funds. This is an administration that is cash strapped. That's just the long and short of it. At the end of the day, when you look at our GDP and what the government has to do, whether it be, trying to, go back and actually renegotiate a lot of loan rates in order to try and make this somewhat feasible to carry them out throughout this fiscal year, it's going to be a challenging, whatever they borrow from here going out is going to have to be at a remarkable rate. They're going to have to renegotiate current rates that they have in order to try and be able to pay some of the actual bills that are owed, whether it be, the Tricolina. It's just like some of the, some of the banks at one point, who used to pay the government salaries. They were in overdraft for millions of dollars, but of course, you're talking about the Bahamian government. Yes. Nobody's going to say, we're cutting off all health insurances to all government workers. They're in it for the long haul. If it's 100 million owing, Colina is in it for the long haul. Mm-hmm. It's very hard for them to just say, hey, we're going to cut services and then be sitting out $100 million in accounts payable or their receivables.
Mm-hmm. Shanique, Mr. Turnker said something very interesting. He said the number of persons or entities that the government owe. And I made a post last week or a week before saying that they owe from the doctors to the undertakers and in between. All who have been in complaining, you had the doctors, you had the people who pick up bodies off, all saying that the government hold them fund. You had the custom officers. And then something else Mr. Turner said, the government is cash strapped. But is that the truth? Or they set their priorities and pay whom they want to pay? Because if you have a $70 million budget for consultants, are you cash strapped? If you can buy allegedly very expensive vehicles, are you cash strapped? Or is your spending priority questionable. How is it that your employees...
On the line budgeted items for those things, and then obviously, you can't crisscross pick.
It's bad budgeting.
You can't crisscross where the budgeted is set for.
Right, it's bad budgeting maybe, in terms of, like you say, priorities, but at the end of the day, we do have an administration that's, that's kind of exhausted what's been, either loaned or handed to them. At the end of the day, like I said, you can't continue to borrow, and your revenue, your revenue of the country is not increasing drastically. The only thing we do here is basically just kind of, raise our debt, raise the whole, I would say, when you look at GDP as related to revenue, that kind of puts us high. I think we're around 70% now, 78, somewhere around there. We'll be one of those Caribbean countries who moves up to 100%. Which is, we can't afford to go there. It kind of devalues, your dollar at some point.
Well, we certainly don't want to get there. We saw just yesterday, central bank governor is concerned, of course, as it relates to a recession and pending what's happening internationally about protecting the value of the Bahamian dollar. So certainly that's something that any government would fight hard to not lose.
He should be concerned. Because during these 3 years, he has allowed certain things to transpire when it comes to Bahamian dollars that shouldn't have happened. When we remember the loan that was given and then against the law, and then it was
which loan?
Monies that were taken from central bank, and it was brought to the House attention that it's not the law. The law doesn't provide that services, and they wrote the law retroactive to cover the millions of dollars that was taken. Even last week, I think there was a report in the newspaper saying that the government has its source, its ability with the central bank, with money. And so Mr. John Roll, responsibility is to protect and not be yes, sir.
So you're saying, I'm not familiar, but you're saying that central bank is basically printing money.
Central bank do not print money.
Let's just move on, because I'll tell you, there is new money expected in the economy shortly. Guys, listen to this part right here, because you see over the weekend, Prime Minister Davis kind of just dropped there that there will be, they're close to making an agreement as it relates to the Grand Lucaya Resort and the sale there. Now, of course, many people just dismissed it and say, okay, he's just giving good news in Grand Bahama. However, today, information leaked that really put some might behind that, the statement that he made over the weekend. We are understanding Concord Wilshire. Get used to that name. It's a Miami-based developer that has a track record of developing and renovating projects worth hundreds of millions of dollars in the state of Florida. They are the group that's been identified in one of the dailies as the group in negotiations with the government to purchase the Grand Lucaya Resort and possibly develop the airport as well. We know that, of course, there's been talk now since Dorian about the Grand Bahama International Airport. I'll tell you today, a number of residents from Grand Bahama reached out to me. I spoke with a number of them, and they are happy to see that, or at least to hear, and waiting for official announcements, of course, but to hear that, wait a minute, things in Grand Bahama could be shifting for the better. Your thoughts, guys, on something that has the potential, I guess, for the first time in a while, to actually be headed somewhere?
Well, I'm rooting for Grand Bahama and the Grand Bahamian people. Anything that is positive, improving the economy, improving opportunity in Grand Bahama, I'm just cheering and rooting, and I hope that this time that the deal is sealed and that we begin to see some movement on improving the economy of Grand Bahama. But my concern is when they said that the deal will include the airport. And if you recall, this airport has been, I almost won't use the word accused, but money has been set to be set aside. PPP, I think.
Private partnership.
Yeah.
Public partnership.
Yeah, $200 million. And then,
well, remember there was a body like NAD, much like NAD, appointed. I'm not sure where that group stands now. They were supposed to have taken charge of the development or the redevelopment of the Grand Bahama Airport. That's not happened.
But that is the concerning thing, because if you remember, I think in 2023, about May, if I recall properly, May 10th, there was an announcement when the Prime Minister was in London that he received access to $1 billion, and that 400 million of this $1 billion was for the Grand Bahama Airport. And then he had to be corrected. He came back and said he misspoke because it was the budget that we were given was $200 million. And then it said that they had secured this $200 million. And so to see that the airport is now included in the sale, I mean, what happened to the drawdown? Did it have happened? Because what happened? Things are said. We cheer. And then there's silence. There's no evidence of it coming forward. And so what happened?
Grand Bahama has been a hard sell, truly.
Well, the Prime Minister said that himself.
You know what he did, and I'm saying it did. The hard sell didn't just start. It didn't just start with Brave Davis and this administration. It has been a hard sell now for decades. It has been allowed to just actually sort of just continue to go in the wrong direction. The thing is. Government after government after government, or administration after administration after administration, for decades now, have come up wanting.
Yeah, but it's like accountability, though. Because
but I'm saying, though,
you come to the people with an amount.
No, but
and
the
then
thing is, Chester Cooper, who is Minister of Tourism and Aviation, he has gone on record in making a number of announcements, and perhaps he preempted himself. And it just never came through. And so the thing about it is, after many administrations have signed deals where people were signing on air, remember those ones? When they have signed a number of things that too have not materialized, we now watch to see what happens here. Go ahead, Michael.
Shanique, I think, so, I'm happy to hear Grand Bahama, this deal might come through. I hope it's not, at the cost of their birthright, in terms of us giving away the kit and caboodle to.
What you want them to do? What you want them to do, Michael?
At the end of the day, we get into these deals, right? The same thing when we talk about, the port and this, that, the next, and what have happened in the 99-year lease, and what have transpired over the years.
I'll tell you how new deals should be looking moving forward. This is what the U.S. and we'll talk about it with Lincoln Bain coming up. The U.S. is a part of what an international media agency is saying is, listen, how sovereign wealth fund works as well is having surpluses put into that fund as well, budget surpluses. Now moving forward, every deal that's signed perhaps should have something built in where some surplus, something goes into the sovereign wealth fund. And so maybe we should negotiate better.
But even further, we just spoke about, talk about triple Ps in terms of the public partnership. I just want, people talk about these like, some of these things are not a good thing, That's expensive borrowing. People think that, that's just something that, we go and we're going to get this money. At the end of the day, you have a lot of individuals involved in a public partnership. That's either a private equity fund or someone is loaning the money. You have a management team, and then you might have that actual local person who's actually, cutting the deal, or even a local equity firm who's now going out and finding that money. That's expensive. That's expensive money. At the end of the day, everybody has to get a little piece of the pie. You might, where we might borrow at 3-4%, that money is going to cost the government a 6%. Wherever the basis points is, and everybody got to get 100 basis points on whatever it is that's going down. So at the end of the day, that's maybe why the government backed out of the whole.
But communicate to the people. That is my concern. You say one thing, and then you go silent, and then you come up with another plan, and then you go quiet. And how can the people have confidence?
Too much has been said about Grand Bahama to the point that I was happy. In fact, this weekend, the Prime Minister should say nothing. Just go and sign.
If you look at,
too much has been said and nothing has been delivered.
But if you look at what happened at that airport, I think any investor would be scared to touch that airport in terms of how the water came in.
I agree.
And went in and took everything out with it. I mean, that's a lot of money to be invested. To one day you wake up and you go in there and there's nothing left.
So then it calls now for a sort of a new approach to construction, particularly as it relates to Grand Bahama, anything in Grand Bahama.
Which that area is purely a flood zone.
Anything in Grand Bahama, and of course, especially the airport. Listen, we couldn't even get to so much more that we had planned for this hot topic segment, but that's okay. These guys are always around. But don't go anywhere because listen, we are just getting started this evening. When I come back after this break, Lincoln Bain will be joining me, leader leader of the Coalition of Independents. He's going to be talking Sovereign Wealth Fund. Also, did you hear about 2030? Yeah, we're going to talk about that as well. Stay close.
Cancer Treatment Centers of America is now City of Hope, creating one of the leading cancer care and research networks from coast to coast, providing more of what you need. More locations means more care closer to home. More specialists means more expertise. More research means more breakthroughs. More advancements means more treatment options. And more options means more hope. Call now to get more of the care you need.
What? You don't know what TDC is? Tourism Development Corporation?
You mean the Ministry of Tourism?
No, that ain't the same thing, buddy. The Tourism Development Corporation helps develop and grow Bahamian businesses in the tourism industry. You hear what they say, buddy?
Oh, yeah.
Develop and grow. You don't know what all the things saying do?
What does do?
Hey, check the website, boy.
Start your journey to ownership of our #1 industry today. Log on to tdcbahamas.com.
At the Water and Sewage Corporation, safety and convenience are our top priorities. However, our meter readers face challenges that can make their job difficult. Locked gates to guard dogs sometimes leads to missed readings and estimated bills, which can be frustrating for you and us. That's why we're upgrading to digital meters. They bring safety, accuracy, and convenience to homes across the Bahamas. We can streamline data collection, reduce on-site visits, and provide more accurate bills with no more estimates. Digital meters also help detect leaks early, saving you from costly bills and reducing water waste. Soon, a user-friendly app will let you track your water usage, manage bills, and stay informed, all at your fingertips. Over the next year, we're rolling out digital meters nationwide, transforming how we serve you with a safer and cost-efficient water supply. To learn about our digital meters, visit our website or call us today. And don't forget to update your information at any of our locations.
Hello, ambitious women. Are you ready to take your business to the next level? This is your chance to shine. I'm Adriana Fox, co-founder of the Fox Foundation.
And I'm Adriel Fox, legacy advocate of the Fox Foundation.
We're thrilled to announce the second annual Women's Entrepreneurship Episode Grants Initiative, created to empower and support women like you who are making waves in the business world.
This year, we're offering $75,000 in grants to female entrepreneurs with innovative business ideas in undersaturated markets and industries that have yet to reach their full potential. Our top 3 prizes are $25,000 for first place, $20,000 for second place, and $15,000 for third place. In addition, 7 runner-ups will receive $2,000.
We encourage businesses such as those in digital markets like web innovations, AI-driven service, niche e-commerce, or emerging industries such as green technologies, health tech, cultural tourism, and personalized educational platform. Whether you're launching a startup, scaling your business, or tackling that big idea that needs a financial boost, this grant is for you. Last year, we funded 10 incredible entrepreneurs, and this year, it could be you.
Imagine what you could achieve with the funding to grow your dreams.
Apply now and join a powerful community of women entrepreneurs leading the way. Applications are open from January 31st to February 28th. Don't wait. Visit our website for more information. This is your opportunity to break into a growing market and make an impact. Apply today and let's build a future of unstoppable women entrepreneurs together.
If you enjoy watching Beyond the Headlines, take advantage of our exclusive offers with 4 15-minute interview segments at $1,200 and 20 30-second TV ads at $2,000. Contact 557-0258 or 557-0259 for more information. Go beyond with Beyond the Headlines.
Welcome back to Beyond the Headlines. Well, the Trump administration is looking into establishing a sovereign wealth fund. President Trump signed an executive order just after being sworn in as the 47th president of the United States. One person who watched very closely was COI leader Lincoln Bain. Let's hear what President Trump said, and then we will discuss.
Executive order discharges your Secretary of the Treasury, Scott Bessent, and your Secretary of Commerce, Howard Lutnick, to begin a process that will hopefully result in the creation of an American sovereign wealth fund.
It's a very exciting event. We're going to have a sovereign wealth fund, which we've never had. We have a lot of things that create wealth, and you've seen that over the last 2 weeks. I think we've created more wealth. Other people have created de-wealth. The people, my predecessors, we're creating a lot of wealth. Scott, maybe you'd like to say something about it, and I'd ask also Howard to say something about it.
Yes, sir. This is very exciting. We're going to stand this thing up within the next 12 months. We're going to monetize the asset side of the U.S. balance sheet for the American people. We're going to put the assets to work, and I think it's going to be very exciting. We're going to study best practices that's done around the world. It'll be a combination of liquid assets, assets that we have in this country as we work to bring them out for the American people.
The extraordinary size and scale of the U.S. government and the business it does with companies should create value for American citizens. If we are going to buy 2 billion COVID vaccines, maybe we should have some warrants and some equity in these companies and have that grow for the help of the American people. So I bring all these things together. I think Scott and I will create an amazing sovereign wealth fund for you, sir. So other countries have sovereign wealth funds, and they're much smaller countries, and they're not the United States. We have tremendous potential in this country, tremendous. You're seeing that, what's happened just in a short period of time. And as an example, TikTok, we're going to be doing something perhaps with TikTok, and perhaps not. If we make the right deal, we'll do it, otherwise we won't. But I have the right to do that, and we might put that in the sovereign wealth fund, whatever we make, or if we do a partnership with very wealthy people, a lot of options, but we could put that as an example in the fund, and we have a lot of other things that we could put in the fund, and I think in a short period of time we'd have one of the biggest funds, and some of them are pretty large, I must tell you. Some of like the Saudi Arabia fund is on the large side, but eventually we'll catch it. But we're going to create a lot of wealth for the fund. And I think it's about time that this country had a sovereign wealth fund. And these two gentlemen and some others are going to work with them very closely, and they'll be heading it up, and they're going to do a great job. Two highly respected people that have done unbelievably well in the world, in the real world.
Well, there you have it, President Trump with his, obviously those gentlemen identified as the ones who will head that initiative to explore the opportunity. And as you heard them point out and pinpoint several areas that they can get the sovereign wealth fund funded and get monies into that fund, obviously to serve the American people. Well, this sovereign wealth fund is nothing new to us, particularly over the last handful of years. Lincoln Bain, leader of the Coalition of Independence, has been sort of hammering that message. He's not let up off of it either. I'm going to discuss that with him, what he thought about that first, and then, of course, where we stand and how we can reimagine what our sovereign wealth fund can look like. Welcome to Beyond the Headlines, Lincoln. Good evening to you. It's great to have you here.
It's always good to be here.
Thank you. Listen, let's just talk about, well, first of all, to hear the great United States exploring what you've been talking about now for some years, but to hear them exploring, hey, listen, it's about time and we should be establishing a sovereign wealth fund, and also to see it obviously sort of put into motion through an executive order.
And I think it's powerful, and I think it's for a good reason. What's very interesting is that I had met with some of his policymakers here in the Bahamas. At the time when he got shot, they were here with me, and we were going through their crypto policy because they had interest in doing some things and helping us do policy for crypto. And I started to talk to them about the Sovereign Wealth Fund. And we started to drive around Nassau and show them, what our plans was, and the fact that this present administration took it away from us. They couldn't believe that we would allow that as a people. And the concept of Crown land was amazing to them. They don't have that concept in the United States.
They don't know about Crown land.
And so they're shocked that we allow the government to not empower us with it. But I taught them about the Sovereign Wealth Fund, and shortly after I heard Trump saying it on his campaign trail, and I was like, wow, what an interesting coincidence. And he actually came and did it. And so most likely it came from the conversations I had with them. They were very intrigued
Lincoln,
about it.
wait a minute now. You influenced that policy?
I could have. And so what
a powerful gentleman.
The reason that policy is so powerful is because you empower your nation by empowering its people.
Yeah.
Okay? And that's what Trump realizes. And that's what he's doing. Notice when they're talking, they're saying the American people.
Yes.
And everything he's doing is for the American people. When he's talking about Panama, he's talking about American people, how he's going to influence their businesses, making sure their businesses don't have a disadvantage. And they're looking out for their people. And this is the kind of governance that you need. Sovereign wealth funds is how every country that went from a developing nation to a developed nation transformed their nation. They used it to empower their people. Even China has a sovereign wealth fund.
China?
Well, they have many sovereign wealth funds. The biggest sovereign wealth fund right now is from a country that was going broke at one point, and that's Norway. Norway's sovereign wealth fund is worth $1.4 trillion right now. And their sovereign wealth fund, through investments, made $288 billion. That's free money, well, there's investment and risk, that they made without selling a drop of oil or doing anything other than trading on the markets. Mm-hmm. And you would hear some of what Trump is saying, that they are, his team, that they are going to make investments. Why should they spend billions of dollars on vaccines, for example, and they don't invest in the company so that they can make money because they're going to invest in it?
So then that's how countries can now sort of reimagine, besides the natural resources that are there, but reimagine the picture bigger.
Yes, sovereign wealth fund is not just about the natural resources, and I've been trying to teach the Bahamian people that. And so what I've been doing was showing people that it's not just the natural resources, it's also the businesses that we can go in. Why are we not in the cruise ship business now? There's a restaurant, Margaritaville, that realized that there's big money in cruise ship, so let's get a cruise ship. We are bragging about how much these cruise ships are making in our country. Royal Caribbean is making $10 billion a year. Carnival is making $20 billion, and both of them are going to make more this year because they're having more cruises. And why didn't any of our leaders, if we pay all this money, think at any point that we should actually go into that business?
So when you say go into that business, what do you mean? Invest in the business?
Yes. Well, what you do is you form a sovereign wealth fund and you form companies for that purpose. So like, for example, in Dubai, they formed a company called Nakil, and that company went into tourism business. So a lot of what you see in Dubai, that company owns, and they let their people have ownership in that company, and that's how they empower their people. And so we can do the same thing. We are going to form a company that is for tourism. And so this company will, for example, be able to invest in cruise ships using our natural resources as collateral to be able to fund it. That's one idea. And now we will be able to move our economy and our tourism around our islands to make sure that all of them get a piece of the pie as we sail. Not just sailing in our country, but also sailing to other countries. So
that's
now
even diversifying our number one industry. We
we'll
talk
make
about
money,
diversification.
yes, we'll make money from other people's tourism. So our ships will now be going to Miami and to Cancun and to Cayman Islands and Jamaica and Haiti and Labadee. And so our ships will now be making money from their tourism. This is the level we need to go on. We need to get rid of the conversation about paving roads and electricity and water and patting ourselves on the back for things that cavemen talked about. You know, this is ridiculous. And so a sovereign wealth fund, from the money that we can make, we should be in the shipping industry. We have a free port that has a lot of advantages. And so there are businesses that we can go in as a country. Now, the government will not own, the sovereign wealth fund will own this. The government will put it in that direction, but they will not run it. Mm-hmm. And so you will not have the government running this. You don't want that. All right, you will have the professionals running it. A lot of the hotels you stay in America, the owners don't run it. All right, and a lot of the names on the hotel, they're just the persons running it, but they're not the actual owners.
Yes.
All right, and so this is what Trump is doing to empower his people. And all of the nations that did what he is doing, all of them rose up to be powerful nations, including Singapore and all of these other countries that you know about. We can do the same thing. It's time to empower Bahamians.
It's time to reimagine, as I said. I like that word. I like that word a minute ago.
I'm tired of bragging about what other people own. And you were having a conversation a minute ago about Grand Bahama, and people are celebrating because another one of our assets is going to be sold. We own the resort right now. Why aren't we doing something with it? That's because we lack vision. We should do something with that hotel. The biggest reason I'm not celebrating for that, I'm glad for any help for Grand Bahama, but your economy isn't built by where people stay, by people coming here to stay somewhere. It's by what they do when they get here and what they consume when they get here. No one goes to Disney to stay in a hotel.
No.
The hotel is there.
In fact, Disney almost discourages it.
Yeah, you don't go there to stay in a hotel. You go there because what's available. You don't go to Las Vegas to stay in a hotel. When you go to Miami, you go there to shop. You don't go for the hotel. All right, and so our concept has been wrong for a very long time. And so they've had a hotel open there.
What else let's just stay on Grand Bahama for a moment, because we have to move through to a lot and we, this much time. But what else can Grand Bahama do in anticipation of taking advantage of and expanding
every
what
island
will be available?
We need entertainment. We need things to do on our island, and that's what Dubai did. They didn't just build hotels. They made things that were entertaining. That you want to walk around, you want to experience this, experience that. That's what our country should be about. And so it's not just about hotel rooms, and that has been their focus. Letting the foreigner come, build the hotels, and we just make their beds and clean their toilets. That Bahamas is expired now. It's time for us to move into ownership and to build things for these tourists to do that's going to amaze them. But not just for them to do, but for us to do.
For us to
because
enjoy.
they need to come and enjoy our culture. And that's how we're going to switch it. We're going to build a country that's for Bahamians, and they're going to come and enjoy what we enjoy. And that's the real tourism. Tourists don't want to stay in a big anchor hotel. They want to see what you're doing and do it with you.
Let's just talk about tourists wanting to spend and stay and Bahamas for Bahamians. But Bahamians are a little vexed, Lincoln. I don't know if you've been paying attention to this one. Trump's immigration policy is kind of just sort of rubbing people the wrong way. Bahamians feel as though, listen, hold up, this is our America. While here, though, we need the government to straighten out the matter of illegal immigration, but over there, don't touch it. But what can we learn from what Trump is doing in terms of, cleaning its country? Because after all, America is in financial problem. America needs to put Americans first. For the first time ever in our lifetime, we've heard that Americans are feeling the pinch with inflation and cost of living and housing and the rest of it. And so therefore, they've elected somebody to put their needs first. How can we mimic that?
I hope the Bahamas does the exact same thing and elect someone who's going to put Bahamians first for the first time in our nation since Sir Lyndon Pinland. We need that, because we have always been putting everyone else first. Every foreigner seems to have some advantage. We can't develop in our own country. They discourage you from business. The thing with the Bahamas is we need to build the Bahamas to where we don't need to want to stay in America. We don't need to have to go there other than for entertainment. Right now, your kids are coming home educated, and they're telling them that they're overqualified. We're seeing this. And our children are leaving us. And so that is why we have an immigration problem, because we can't survive here as Bahamians. We're being pushed out. We're being pushed out of jobs. We're being pushed out of opportunities. Other foreigners are taking over, getting the jobs, getting the contracts and everything else. And there's no Bahamas for us. And so we need to save this Bahamas, because I love this Bahamas. All right, they don't have crack conch and bamboo in Miami.
They kind of sort of do. They mimic everything now. But it's not the same.
It's not the same.
But Lincoln, I want to ask you this, and getting to 2030 vision, I want to ask you though, how do you go about changing a mindset? It is not by accident that some job sites are overrun with people who look different than us or speak a different language. It is because Bahamians have somehow, generally speaking, particularly men, say construction industry, for example, checked out. How would you go and have people become, the Coalition of Independents, excited again about being Bahamian, about working, about the sweat of our brow, working hard, building something, imagining their future and owning a piece of the land?
Bahamians have not checked out. They've been pushed out. And that's what happened in the construction industry. For cheap labor, they go with other people. These people don't have the same bills that we have. They don't have the rent or the mortgage and the vehicle expenses and everything else that we have to survive, so they can work for less money. And that's where the problem is. They work for cheaper, and those persons who were hiring them hired them, taught them how to do the trade, and now they're pushing our men out. The difference with Vision 2030, which we are going to launch on March 1st, at 7 o'clock at the Fusion Superplex. We're going to have an amazing event. The difference is we're going to have a vision for the first time that's not about ideas and policies and projects. This vision is going to be about the people. You're going to hear a vision that's targeted on the people of this country and how each of them are going to be empowered. So a vision for Bahamians and how we're going to empower Bahamians. And you're going to hear not a vision for ministries, you're going to hear a vision for the elderly, the vision for the youth, the vision for the law enforcement officers, the vision for the nurses, the vision for the patients. You're going to have a vision targeted on the people of this country and how these people are going to be empowered and how we're going to move to the next Bahamas by building our people.
That's March 1st, you all. The Coalition of Independents will officially launch Vision 2030 at the Fusion Superplex. Certainly, of course, Lincoln Bain, many of us are quite interested in hearing more about what it is Vision 2030 is all about, what it encompasses, and exactly how you plan on seeing that brought into fruition if you're successful at the polls. Thank you so much for joining us this evening. Looking forward to further conversations with you.
Thank you.
Don't go anywhere, because when we come back, I'll tell you this. You know, Bahamians love traveling. Everybody's looking to get married and have a special occasion. Well, some Italians are in town. They attended the Ministry of Tourism sponsored bridal show, and they have amazing ideas of bringing Italians here and perhaps letting you see the opportunities there. We're back right after this.
This new year, EV Motors is starting the year off strong with incredible savings on brand new electric vehicles. Charge into the new year with zero emissions and endless savings during our New Year clearance sale, where you can drive into 2025 with one of our brand new EVs at discounted prices. And that's not all. Take advantage of a special financing offer with CIBC Caribbean with a 4.5% interest rate and up to 10 years to repay. But hurry, the clock's ticking, and these deals won't last long. With our diverse selection, there's an EV here for everyone. Get the BYD Seagull Plus for as low as $258.43 per month. The Toyota BZ4X for as low as $512.91 per month. The BYD One Plus for as low as $392.79 per month. The BYD Song Plus for as low as $518 per month. The BYD Tank Plus for as low as $725.46 per month. The Mercedes-Benz for as low as $725.46 per month. The BMW iX3 for as low as $725.46 per month. The Carry Cargo Van for as low as $351.33 per month. And the Carry Elephant X7 truck for as low as $393.72 per month. Enjoy unbeatable clearance prices with our New Year clearance sale. Terms and conditions apply. Prices are VAT exclusive. It's the EV Motors New Year clearance sale. Call or visit us today to secure your brand new EV.
Ultra Games turns 8, and it's your chance to participate in the Ultra winning experience. Here's how to win. Play with Ultra Games all month long, and with every 5 reward points earned, you will receive 1 electronic entry to win your share of $100,000 in our anniversary raffle drawing on March 1st. Also join us on the Infinity Store Tour in-store all month and enter to win $1,500 just for a $20 deposit at your favorite Ultra Games store. Kicking off at our Sea Grapes Plaza location February 14th. Visit ultragames.com or our socials for more information. Terms and conditions apply. Ultra Games, unleash your luck.
So you want a space. But not just any space. You need something with a little more potential. So how about 1,000 square feet of room to play with? superb audio and video production capability, digital LED wall, full lighting grid, and about 124 seats to accommodate a full studio audience, with so many other features. Make us your home for your next concert, conference, and so much more. Honestly, the possibilities are endless. Here at ILTV Studios, we'd love to bring your next event to life. So what do you say? Do you want our space?
If you enjoy watching Beyond the Headlines, take advantage of our exclusive offers with 4 15-minute interview segments at $1,200 and 20 30-second TV ads at $2,000. Contact 557-0258 or 557-0259 for more information. Go beyond with Beyond the Headlines.
This segment of Beyond the Headlines is brought to you by EV Motors. Drive the future with brand new 2024 electric vehicles. EV Motors, powering your journey.
Welcome back to Beyond the Headlines. Well, many of you know last weekend that the Ministry of Tourism sponsored Bahama's bridal show. It's a must-attend event, especially if you're planning a wedding very soon. Happened last week, as I said, and among the attendees was a group from Italy, from Weddings Italy, Paolo and Janine. And they are here and met with Ministry of Tourism officials. They went to Andros and also spoke with the Director General, a number of things to make some great things happen here and to sort of introduce or reintroduce and establish like a wedding industry, high-end, very exclusive wedding industry for many Italians seeking to say I do in the Bahamas. In fact, a lot's happening already on the island of Eleuthera, where they are right now this evening, and they are joining me along with the Italian Honorary Consul to the Bahamas, Andrea Cecchi. Good evening to all of you. Welcome to Beyond the Headlines.
Good evening. Evening.
Listen, well, first, welcome to the Bahamas. I know that you all were here in New Providence last week in Nassau, attending the Ministry of Tourism sponsored bridal show. How was that, and how did that fit in with what Weddings Italy does?
Allora, it was really great, and we thank the Congress and also all the Ministry of Tourism that are working on that, because the goal was really to help the industry of tourism, and mainly the romance one, to evolve in Bahamas, and we are happy for that. First of all, I wanted to pass the word to Paolo Nassi, and my name is Jinan Kafruni, and so he can present first ourselves, and then I can tell you more about the amazing experience we had in Bahamas.
So Jinan and I are the creative duo of P&J Events, and we are organizing weddings and events in Italy and Europe for 30 years. So we have a huge experience in Italy and Europe. And we decided to develop our branch in Bahamas together with a local partner, Andrea. And we would like to improve our knowledge of Bahamas and to be more deeply conscious of the feelings of Bahamas.
And the beauty and what can offer the Bahamas. In fact, those days they flew away, because first of all, of course, the convention took our the first days, and it was very, very useful, because other than meeting, of course, me, Frida Malcolm, which is the director of the Romance Convention, and of course the general director of Ministry of Tourism, Lazia Duncombe. I hope I pronounced her name well.
Close enough.
and the whole team of the Romance that Hub. So we had this experience that we moved around. We saw a lot of hotels, restaurants, venues. We visited some private villas in Lyford and also in the Fort Bay.
And so this is wonderful, Janine and Paolo, because this is the intention, to see what the Bahamas has to offer, especially for the discerning guests who want to be married in splendor and beauty. And so you want to see as much, and this is what this discovery trip was about, not just attending the bridal show, which you did and enjoyed, and also met with tourism officials, but you also went to Andros Tell us about that experience and how you figure that'll play into what your plans are.
That was amazing. First, because also we saw more venues, but also because Rochelle, which is also the director of the Office of Tourism there, she personally took us around, and she brought us even to the Blue Hole. She talked about all the birds.
Kamalame? I think that's the name of it. Yes, I know that bird well. Yes.
Yeah. And so it was really lovely. We had also the chance to do the batik experience with the wax. We even did our shirts.
Yes.
It was really
bird. That's it. Yes. Go ahead.
With the Androsia company, we felt really very near to these people, to this country, because also there is something very special about everybody here is the sweetness and the honesty. We had the experience that Paolo left his smartphone, like he felt one night that we were coming back to the hotel in the taxi, and the day after they bring it to us. This is not common.
So we are
in many
in love,
places in the world.
completely in love with people of Bahamas. Absolutely.
So your first impression is amazing already. Now you are scouting. Weddings Italy is a company that has a well-established reputation for decades in Italy of helping people, very discerning, high-end customers have beautiful weddings. This is something that you're looking, obviously, as you say, to establish in the Bahamas. You are already seeing spots and areas on Eleuthera, for example, where you are this evening. Let's talk about what's happening and what's taking shape already for this year in Eleuthera.
Eleuthera, first of all, is amazing. Really, it took our heart. We had chance also to see the bridge window that makes us very emotional, because it brings the two seas together, like P&J together to do the event, and also like our couple that come in unity for a marriage or for their parties or any romantic ideas and things they are doing. I love Eleuthera. And then, of course, we've seen the Cove. We've seen the other location like the Baltic. I have some problems pronouncing some names, but I'm learning.
Yes,
Too many names in few hours.
Yes.
And even today we had the chance with this fun. It was like a fun case that we create a new drink at the Daddy Joe's bar here in Eleuthera. We combine Italian feeling with a mixture of drinks of the Bahamian here, and we create a new drink. So maybe you'll have chance to taste it.
Mm-hmm.
So what we are here really to do is to bring the love and the happiness in Italian style, or to bring, like we said, couple from Italy, but even from other places. Like
yes.
That we had a client from California that he wanted to do his anniversary, 25th wedding anniversary in Italy. And we told him, why not Bahamas? And he said, yes, I want. So this is the new project that
I know, and it's very exciting because you all have just developed a whole new romance industry, or further expanding the romance industry in the Bahamas by bringing people here to realize it. But you also have somewhat of an exchange. If Bahamians or anybody living here want to go and maybe have a beautiful experience in Italy, for example, that's also possible, yes?
Of course, they will have the expert already. So,
absolutely.
Like 30 years experience on your disposal.
Yes, of course. I know that you are working very closely with the Italian Honorary Consul to the Bahamas, Andrea Cecchi. But how can people reach out to you and find out more about what you do? Like, is there a site or something? A website?
Yeah. You mean Andrea?
No, to you. Yes, website. Yes, website.
For sure, we are expert in social networks, so we will develop a social network exactly for Bahamas.
Okay.
To get Andrea, and we will develop our new style of communication for bringing new couples in the Bahamas.
Yes. Well, it's just good to see. I thought the honorary council would have joined you all this evening, but it's good to see that even, and I know he's been busy trying to do some new linkages and create opportunities in Eleuthera in particular, but the Bahamas in general, between Italy and the Bahamas. So it's good to see this new thing forming. Of course, you all have been given the green light and thumbs up by the Ministry of Tourism, in that you spent considerable time with the Director General of Tourism. And so it's good to see this happening in Eleuthera. I understand it's already some things in motion for couples already on the island there. So that's very, very good. Any final comments you want to make?
I don't know if Andrea want to add something. For me, I want to say that really we saw lots of things we cannot describe in a few minutes, but we loved everything. We even had the chance to visit the museum of the Jean
Canoe, yes.
Yes. And it was crazy because the guy Freddie from there, who really played the drum, the big drum, and put the costume, he just improvised parade, and we went out with him, participate in the middle of the stage. In the middle of the square, and it was so fun. So everybody loves the joy, and you have everything to make beautiful events. You have everything, nothing missing. So we will be just a small piece to guide you, to help all the couple, and to bring something like more personal to the events. But you have Bahamas have everything that needs for making everything beautiful, amazing, and memorable.
Well, it's good to see that again. There's an addition to tourism. It's called love tourism, romance tourism. And thank you very much to Paolo and Janine of Weddings Italy. You heard what they're doing. They have met with Ministry of Tourism and toured a number of areas, including Andros, just to look at how they plan on bringing this all and making it a reality in the Bahamas. Already I understand that there are some wonderful things planned for Eleuthera this year as it relates to couples in Italy. And of course, again, if you want to perhaps in thinking about a destination wedding of your own, they can help make that happen also for you. Thank you both very much. Please say hello to the honorary council from Italy to the Bahamas, Andrea Cecchi as well, for us here on Beyond the Headlines. Thank you both.
Thank you, everybody.
Thank you. I want to thank all of you for tuning in this evening. Certainly enjoyed having you along. And we look forward to seeing you right back here tomorrow evening for another enlightening show. Until then, for the entire Beyond the Headlines team, I'm Shanique Miller. Make it a great evening, everyone.